Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to show you 5 things that you may have missed in Act 1. And what we're going to start with is right here in the Blighted Village, and that is to get one of 3 weapons that are a reward or part of a quest, which is very well hidden in Act 1, so you probably have missed it. Now the 3 weapons I'm going to be talking about that you can choose one of is the Sussar sickle, the Sussar greatsword, or the Sussar dagger. Now you can only choose one out of them, so it depends on what kind of character you're going for. But let's run through how to get one of these weapons. So from the Blighted Village waypoint, you want to just head into the Blacksmith house, which is directly opposite. And to start this quest, you just want to head on into this room here. And what we're looking for is a journal, which is just hidden just over here. Now, as you can see, it's very hard to see, but if you hold down your Alt key, it will highlight it and you can pick this up. And that will start the quest. So upon reading that, as you can see, we have just started the quest. For the next part of the quest, I do recommend saving just beforehand, as if luck isn't on your side, it is going to end quite badly and you might want to restart. So what we're going to do is we're going to head into the room next to it. So for the next part, as you can see by the quest, we need to find some blueprints to create the masterwork weapons. And it says that they must be nearby, and that's where this bit comes in. So we need to head down here. The best thing to do is get someone with a firebolt spell, and we can get rid of those cobwebs pretty easily. Now what you want to do is make sure you have a character or a few characters with a high perception check for the next one. So we're going to just jump down here. As you can see, we do need a high perception check because this chest here is rigged with a trap. And if you fail the perception check and you do try and open this, it will cause it to explode and it will destroy this ladder here, which is not very good. If that does happen to you, just make sure you load the game and head back down here, and hopefully you'll pass the perception check. Now what we want to do is want to disarm this first. So if that's successfully disarmed, we can open this and we can find the blueprints here, the Highcliff blueprints. We'll just take them, and we're also going to unlock this chest up here as well. The reason why we want to unlock this chest as well, because it has something very important that we also need. So we have a steel forged sword here, which you can have as a nice light weapon for, say, a rogue build or something like that. We also have Blacksmith note, but most importantly we have the infernal iron, which is something that we need to finish the quest as well. So you do want to make a note of this place because this is where the forge is here, which we'll come back to later. Now to continue on with the quest, what we need to do is we need to find the blueprints, and we just want to read them. It will tell us a little bit more, and it will tell us that we also need some Sussar bark. So next we're going to run through where to find the Sussar bark. So to find the Sussar bark, what we need to do is we need to head to the Underdark, and we want to go to the Myconid colony, to that waypoint there, and that will bring us to here. And then all we want to do is we want to kind of head down this direction, so through the Airborne Lake Grotto, and we kind of want to head towards this nice bright blue tree here, which is the Sussar tree that we are after. So we want to head on down here, and this is the same area if you've done the mushroom picker quest, which is just down here. So we want to carry on heading down in this direction. We are in the Dread Hollow. Once we are here, what we want to do is we want to just come down to this spot here, and you'll see some roots over in this direction. You want to climb up these roots. Now something to note, there will be a couple of enemies here. They are pretty simple to do. There's one just as you enter. There's one down the lower level and one on the tree here. But once we have got rid of all of them, we can make our way along here, and we can see the Sussar tree root just here, or the bark should I say. So you can grab the bark. Now we have the bark, what we can do is head back to the Blighted Village and want to go back to the Blacksmith's house. So we'll come back to the Blighted Village, back to the Blacksmith house and down that hole. Or you can even lockpick this shabby wooden doors here, and you can go that way. Either way is perfectly fine. And once we have made our way down here, we can head over here to the forge, and all we want to do is we want to click the forge and activate it. Now you'll notice the furnace is on, but it's not hot enough yet, so we need to activate the bellows. Now make it hotter. Now when we click on the furnace, it will come up with a combine menu. From here is where we want to combine the bark. So we'll find the Sussar tree bark, we'll put that in there and we'll click combine, and as you will see now, the furnace is now turned blue, which allows us to craft what we want. Now a couple of things to bear in mind, so we can either craft a sickle, a dagger or a greatsword. Now we will need just a normal version of this to be able to craft what we want in the furnace. So I'm going to probably be doing daggers as I have a rogue build. So we're just going to activate the furnace and we can combine the items again. So we want to find a dagger, go on to combine and click combine here. And that there is the quest complete. And we also have our Sussar dagger. Now it will never be the strongest weapon because obviously you're using a normal weapon of that type. But what this does do is it silences the target on hit, which is good if you come across any battle with a load of mages. It's very handy to have something that can obviously silence, so that's always a good weapon for them types of builds. Another thing in Act 1 that you might have missed is located here again in the Blighted Village, and it's the Necromancy of Thay. Now this book, when opened, will grant you the ability to speak to the dead. So it's a pretty good item to get early on and will allow you to speak to the dead. So what you want to do to get this item is where the waypoint is for the Blighted Village. You want to head into the building next to it and you'll find a wooden hatch just behind the counter here, and this will enter the cellar. And once you're down in the cellar, you want to head over to the other side, so just go straight forward. What you want to do is you want to move the painting. What you want to do from here is you will have a perception check. And all that's telling you is that there is a lever just behind here. Now we can go ahead and activate the lever. We have to move the painting first, which is just hang up in the wall, and it'll move the bookcase and it will show us a secret entrance. What you want to do is you want to follow this secret passage and it will bring you to this opening over here where there's a bunch of coffins. Now I do recommend not opening any coffins, as if you do open the coffins, a skeleton will appear and it will commence battle, but it will also cause all the others to open as well. Unless you want some free experience, of course, then be my guest, you can open them all up and defeat the skeletons. What you want to do is you want to carry on through here and you will notice this big mirror here next to some kegs. You want to activate that mirror, and what this will do is ask you to speak your name, and you have some dialogue options, so you can do with these what you want. Then for the next option, what you want to do is select yes, I am an ally of your masters. What this will do is go through another dialogue where it will ask you 3 questions. Set of dialogue will be 3 questions. Now we want to answer these questions correctly. Otherwise the mirror will release an orb and it means we won't be able to complete the quest. So for number 1, we want to go for option 2, a foul lich, you may die 1,000 more deaths. For the next question is why you might use the balsam ointment, and this is to clean a wound. Now for the last one, we want to select option 2, which is I'd like to look for whatever spell will rid me of this worm in my head. Once we have answered the questions correctly, it will open up and lead us to another room. We want to enter this room. Now what we want to do is we want to head on through this rusted iron gate. If you have a good sleight of hand and lockpicking skills, you can go ahead and lockpick this. If not, we can head over to the room opposite, and then on the shelf over here, you will find the rusted key. So either way, you can do whatever way you want. Before we open this gate, we want to disarm this metal plate here, as it will activate a load of traps. So I want to go ahead and disarm that, and then we can go ahead and open the gate. It will be quite a big dexterity check, just like this. So obviously I failed unfortunately this time, but we have some more thieves tools so we can try again. If you don't really want to go through this, as I said, you can get the rusty key and that will open the gate as well. So with that being successful, we can open this gate. Now there are a couple more traps here. We've got this gargoyle here and this one here. So you can either use a mage hand to bring the book towards you, or we can go ahead and grab the book, but we want to disarm this marble plate here first. Then we can go ahead and take the book. You've got 2 options here. You can either destroy the book, or we can take it and obviously read it. If we do take it and read it, it will allow us to speak to the dead. And if you destroy it, you won't be able to speak to the dead, so it's completely up to you. I'm going to take it with me. So now we have the book, we have a couple of options. To read the book, we need the dark amethyst, which is located close by, but it means we have to go through a cave full of spiders and defeat all of them and open it. Now opening it gives us the speak with the dead buff. Apart from that, there doesn't seem to be any other consequences, but knowing games like this, I'm sure a little bit later down the storyline there will be some sort of consequence. Now if you have had the urge to read it and you have read it yourself and you know what the consequence is, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll be very interested. Apart from that, we can destroy it. Now it is immune to most damages, and the only way to destroy it is holy damage, which we can do with Shadow Heart, and we can get her to destroy it as well. Or what I would recommend we do is we give it to Gale, and giving this book to Gale when he needs a bit of refreshment for his magical, or he does consume the magical items. I just recommend keeping it and giving it to him to destroy. That's probably the best and the safest option. The third and final thing you may have missed in the Blighted Village in Act 1 is having the Owlbear cub as one of your companions. Now this is a short little side quest. Now to find the Owlbear cub we need to head to this cave here, which as you can see is just northeast of the Blighted Village. You just want to head on down to the river and you can find the cave entrance here. And once you enter the Owlbear nest, you just want to follow your way through. And as you go through, you will meet the Owlbear and the cub. Now there's plenty of dialogue options here and you can obviously coerce your way out of the conversation. But unfortunately, ideally, we do want to end up killing the Owlbear. Now there's a few reasons why I want to do this. It will allow us to explore the cave a bit more, which is great. There's loads of loot here, especially if you're traveling with Gale. But also it holds a specific item for a quest we'll need later on. Unfortunately, we are going to have to put ourselves first and slay her, unfortunately. As you see here with this dialogue, we can actually use persuasion and just allow to leave, and we can find her unfortunately dead a few days later after a few long rests. But personally, it's kind of better to do it now. Just so we can grab the loot that we need. Unfortunately, it's not nice, but it's something we have to do in the game. And once you have defeated the mother, you will have the dialogue option to let the cub live or attack. We want to let the creature live, and this will get approval from Gale and Shadowheart. Once that has happened, we can loot for the head of the broken spear, which we would need for a quest, and then we can go ahead and finish looting the cave. Once you have finished in the cave, you want to head back to camp, and you want to do a few long rests just to pass a few days. After you long rest a few times, you will see a cutscene just like this one, where the little Owlbear cub will come to your camp. So you've got a couple of options here. Obviously your first two, I'm going to go for the animal handling one, as you will only need a check of 10, so it's pretty low, and we've hit a nice 15, so that is perfect. Once that is done, we want to just give it some food. The goal here is just to get the Owlbear to trust you. For whatever reason your checks do fail, all you need to do is just load the game previously and just keep trying again basically. Once you have successfully got it to trust you, it will be here in your camp. Nice little cute Owlbear cub. So it's just not a nice little addition to have at your camp. So there we go everyone, that's 3 things that you may have missed in the Blighted Village in Act 1. Hopefully you liked that video and you found it interesting. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button and a notification bell. It's been Kryptonite here, and I will see you in the next video.